Afternoon, Brian. We're in the morning here in Los Angeles.
Yes, exactly. On the East Coast, it's the afternoon. Well, thanks for starting your day with us. Have a cup of coffee. Let me ask you, as we watch Judge Peter Cahill, I've been impressed with his demeanor, although he seems a little bit, he can be a little bit grouchy about the media.
Well, I mean, being a trial lawyer, you're used to judges getting a little impatient at times. There's a lot of pressure coming from different angles. So overall, I give Judge Cahill an A for his demeanor. Yes, he got a little upset when they thought that they had their first jurors and they had to lose two because of this settlement. But I think he was giving a warning across the bow to everyone out in the media, everyone out in the city of Minneapolis, and the attorneys for the George Floyd family to take some precautions here, not to have what's going on outside infect the jury pool inside. So a little grouchy, yes, but maybe not at all. Not at all something that you wouldn't expect for the moment. This Floyd trial with so much pressure on
And
people.
Jim, right, absolutely. And Jim, as everyone knows who's been following us, they now have a panel of 15 jurors. There's one who's sort of an insurance juror. They're going to poll the jurors apparently Monday morning when they begin the proceedings to see if anybody has been influenced by outside events, by the media, has changed their minds, has revealed something they should have talked to somebody. And then that 15th juror is going to be thrown off the panel. They'll be left with 14. There'll be two alternates and then the full panel of 12 jurors. Jim, do you think having the two alternates is going to be enough? Although the judge said earlier there really isn't room for more than 14, the way they've got the jurors' chairs separated there.
Well, it better be enough, right? Because that's what we have. So
Yeah.
I think in this instance, after listening to nearly all of the jury selection and certainly the jury selection of the jurors who are currently seated, you have individuals who are really committed to this process. They're on this jury because it's not only that they said that they could set aside any opinions they have and be fair, they seem committed to the process of justice, of wanting to find the right answer in these particular situations. And so in that instance, you're not going to necessarily lose jurors to fatigue or anything like that. We just have to hope everybody stays healthy. And if that happens, hopefully the 12 that are the core 12 jurors, and I think that should be the first 12 that are picked, will be the people who are deciding this case.
In other words, the last two will know that they are alternates.
I don't think that they'll know. I think Judge Cahill's playing a little cagey on that. You don't want the alternates to know that they're alternates, right? Because you don't want them not to pay as much attention as the first 12. But I think the way the selection unfolded, that they were always referred to as the alternates, I think at the end of the trial, the 13th and 14th juror, who happened to be two white women, one in her 50s, one in her 20s, I think that they'll be asked to not participate in the proceedings, and we'll have the court 12, which will be remarkable because then we truly have a racially balanced jury. I mean, maybe not the wide diversity that we have in the United States of America, as you don't really have at this point Asian or Latinos, but we don't know. We have two multiracial women. We don't know what their background is necessarily. That's how they're identifying. But you do have 6 and 6. You have six people of color and six individuals who are who identify as being white. And in that instance, you have, say, a much better balanced jury than we had here in Los Angeles in the early 90s when you had Simi Valley, a police officer bedroom
Right.
community in which you had an all white jury that exonerated the officers who beat Rodney King in a similar video that galvanized the country and the city of Los Angeles because of the brutality we saw there. And then it was a not guilty verdict. Well, I think that the people of
Pres-
Minneapolis and the prosecutors here are doing everything they can to avoid that from happening.
Absolutely. That's been one of the sort of the guidelines or the guide rails for Judge Peter Cahill. We've learned a lot about him. We've seen him in action. We're also going to